Rimuru, the New Beginning as Primordial Demon Violet by Veldanava God. Chapter 3. The Battle Against Blanc. In the deep recesses of the infernal plane, where the skies burned red and the earth was scorched black, Violet and John continued their search for the remaining primordial demons. Having defeated Blue and Vert, their confidence was at an all-time high, and they felt unstoppable. What they didn't know, however, was that they were being watched. In a hidden chamber far away, a figure cloaked in black stood over a large crystal ball, his fingers lightly tracing its smooth surface. His crimson eyes narrowed as he observed the two primordials moving through the wastelands. Noir, the primordial black, smirked slightly. "They've gotten bold," Noir murmured to himself, watching as Violet and John hunted their next target. "But how long will their little rampage last, I wonder?" He stepped back from the crystal, his smile never fading. This could get interesting. Meanwhile, Violet and John pressed on, their eyes scanning the vast, desolate landscape. It had been weeks since they had tortured and destroyed Blue and Vert, and their thirst for battle was growing once more. "Where are they hiding?" Violet growled, her eyes glowing with impatience. "We've been searching for what feels like forever." John chuckled, her golden eyes gleaming. "Relax, Violet. We'll find them. You know how the primordials are. They're not easy to track down. But once we do..." Her smirk widened. "We'll make sure they regret hiding from us." As they wandered deeper into the heart of the infernal plane, they finally stumbled upon their next target. Blanc, the primordial white. She stood gracefully on a cliff overlooking a river of molten lava, her white robes and hair contrasting sharply against the fiery backdrop. Her calm, serene expression barely changed when she saw Violet and John approaching. "So," Blanc said softly, her voice almost musical, "you've come for me, haven't you?" Violet's eyes lit up with excitement. "Of course we have, Blanc. You didn't think we'd leave you out of the fun, did you?" John crossed her arms, giving Blanc a smirk. "You know the drill. Fight us, or we'll just make you." Blanc raised an eyebrow, her expression unbothered. "I see. But I'm afraid I won't fight both of you at once." Violet scoffed. "Why not? Too scared?" Blanc shook her head. "Not scared. Just practical. You can take turns, but I will only battle one of you." John glanced at Violet, a smirk tugging at her lips. "Fine. Let's decide this the only way that makes sense." Violet raised her hand, her fingers in position. "Rock, paper, scissors?" John grinned, mimicking Violet's gesture. "Of course. 1, 2, 3, they said in unison. Violet's hand formed into a rock, while John's came down as paper. John's grin grew wider. "Looks like I win. This one's mine." Violet huffed in mild annoyance but quickly waved it off. "Fine, but make it quick. If this drags on too long, I'm going to be very bored." Blanc, observing their casual game, couldn't help but smile slightly at their antics. "Very well, John. Shall we begin?" The battle between John and Blanc began immediately, the calm demeanor of Blanc contrasting with John's fierce aggression. John lunged forward, her golden energy radiating from her body as she sent waves of attacks at Blanc. Blanc, with her flawless composure, countered each strike with a shield of pure white energy, blocking John's blows with ease. "You're holding back, John," Blanc remarked as she sidestepped another powerful strike. John grinned, her breath quickening. "Maybe, but you won't be smiling for long." Blanc's expression remained serene as she summoned a barrage of white tendrils from the ground, whipping them toward John with incredible speed. John barely dodged in time, her eyes widening in surprise. "You're not as delicate as you look," John admitted, a flicker of respect in her voice. "I've survived this long for a reason," Blanc replied, her voice soft but firm. The battle dragged on for days, neither side willing to give an inch. John's relentless attacks were met by Blanc's calm and calculated counters, creating a deadly dance of energy and power. Both combatants pushed themselves to the limit, their strength tested in ways neither had anticipated. 2 weeks passed in the blink of an eye, the battle raging without pause. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, John saw her chance. Blanc, though composed and skillful, was beginning to show signs of fatigue. Her defenses were weakening, and John's relentless pressure was starting to take its toll. With one final, powerful strike, John broke through Blanc's shield and landed a devastating blow to her side, sending her crashing into the ground below. Panting, John hovered above Blanc, her golden energy crackling around her. "Looks like it's over, Blanc." Blanc, lying on the ground, coughed weakly, a thin line of blood trickling from her mouth. "It seems you've won, John." Violet, who had been watching from a distance, finally stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Finally, I was getting so bored just watching you two." She walked over to Blanc, crouching down beside her with a wicked grin. "Before you finish her off, John, I think I deserve a little fun." John raised an eyebrow, wiping sweat from her brow. "Fun? What kind of fun?" Violet's smile widened. "I've been sitting here for 2 weeks doing nothing. I think it's only fair that I get to torture her for a bit before we end this." She leaned down, her voice low and sinister. "What do you think, Blanc? How about we play for a while?" Blanc's eyes, though filled with pain, remained calm. "Do as you wish. I have no strength left to fight you." John sighed but gave a nod. "Fine, Violet, but don't take too long. We've still got work to do." For the next 2 weeks, Violet did what she did best. She unleashed her venomous powers on Blanc, pushing the primordial white to the very brink of death. Every day, Blanc's screams echoed across the wastelands as Violet took her time, enjoying every moment of the torture. John, while not directly participating, occasionally glanced over with a mix of amusement and mild impatience. "You've got a real sadistic streak, Violet," John commented on the 10th day, watching as Violet injected another dose of her venom into Blanc's battered body. Violet grinned, not bothering to look up. "It's what I'm good at, John. You know that." On the 14th day, Violet finally stood over Blanc, her eyes glowing with satisfaction. "I suppose that's enough. You've been fun, Blanc, but it's time for you to go." John, standing by her side, nodded in agreement. "She'll come back in 100 years anyway, no big deal." With a final burst of energy, Violet and John combined their powers, ending Blanc's life in a flash of light. Her body disintegrated into ash, leaving nothing behind but the memory of their battle. As the ashes of Blanc drifted away on the wind, Violet turned to John, a satisfied smile on her face. "Well, that was fun. But there are still 2 more to go." John smirked, her golden eyes glinting in the infernal light. "Let's hope the next ones are more of a challenge. I'm getting tired of easy victories." Together, the 2 primordials set off once again, their quest for power and dominance far from over. Their next targets awaited, and they would stop at nothing until they had conquered all who stood in their way.